Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. How you doing here? So hey, it feels like summertime. We got we're above 80 degrees here, even by the lake. People are sitting out to Sweetwater here. Chris, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in there, right on time. Yeah, you're in luck here because I'm gonna head back to Lincoln Park here, where I know there's storms coming, and I checked my weather app, and the storms might not hit until I don't want to be caught in the same situation. Hey, Naya, Rob on the road, Johnny, how you doing there? And really, Julie Reed, good morning, or good afternoon. Here we're afternoon. We'll wait to cross here. Here's the Citizen M. Here's the Carbon building here. Art Deco gym here. But yeah, I'm gonna head up to Lincoln Park here because I don't want to get caught in the storms tonight. Last time, remember, I got caught in that hail, and we're gonna get crazy storms here. They might start at 5, they might not start until 7. I don't want to risk it because that's what I did last time. I said, oh, I'll make it home before they start. Well, I made it up to Lincoln Park, and that's where, you know, Jeremy was messing me. She said, you better get home, and there it was coming. He streamed from his rooftop there at Eugenie Terrace. And so I'm gonna I threw in my laptop. I'm gonna work from my house this afternoon, and so we're gonna take a nice hour-long walk. My usual commute, what I do at 5, I'll do here, and then we'll see what the situation is at 5. If it's not raining, I'll go out and do my normal TikTok after 5, but I'll stick close to my house. So if the storms start coming, then I'll be able to dash home and show you how bad the storm is from my building there. So there, thanks for tuning in there, Krista, Naya, yeah, Dolores, how you doing there? Krista, repeating myself here. Brian, how you doing here? Thanks for tuning in. Are we streaming okay? We're heading up Michigan Avenue here. Ireland, yeah, thanks for tuning in from Ireland there. Brian, thanks, appreciate it. How's things in Ireland there? You're probably evening time. You're like dinner time. We're still lunchtime here, just after the noon hour. We got a really warm day for a Chicago springtime. We got 82 degrees, even by the lake. And what is that, 20 degrees centigrade, Celsius? I'm not good with my Celsius. None of us Americans are. We were supposed to switch to metric system in 1986. How did that work out? Hey, look at these baby's feet playing with the guy's hair there. Jelly Belly, get your Jelly Belly here at Fannie Mae. Premium chocolates since 1920. But here we'll head across Blacker Drive. Hey, Anita, thanks for being on. I appreciate it. Yeah, Michael's mowing the grass. Maybe Ernie will tune in, but I'm glad you're in here, Anita, and we should be fine. We only got 46 people in here, which is a good usual start. We'll see if we can break 100. We'll go check out the last of the tulips here, and we'll head across the river. But thanks everybody that checked out the sailboats yesterday. That was fun, and and I posted. It popped up on this day there on TikTok a year ago. We checked out the Congress Hotel, the haunted Congress Hotel there on YouTube. So people have to turn their phone sideways. But I split it into 2 parts because it was a 9-minute video. No one's gonna watch a 9-minute video on TikTok. I don't even know if they'll watch a 3-minute video. But we broke it into 2 parts there. The Congress Hotel. There's the Chicago River on May the 15th, 2025. Hey, there's a Yankees fan. How you doing? That's great. So hey, we're crossing the river here. And there's the Apple store. See that bridge house? See those 3 windows? On the north side, we got up in the bridge house, and that's where we filmed when they lifted the bridge there. So you can check that out. That reruns on TikTok. Spooky, how you doing there? One rare gemstone. Yeah, Anita, Krista. There's Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable. There he is. How you doing? Joliet Marquette, all these historical figures here. And yeah, it was a hot day. It actually feels pretty good. I still think the lake gives us natural air conditioning this time of the year. I hope you're feeling better. Naya, are you feeling better? I know some people were under the weather there. And there, Pioneer Plaza. People are at the Apple store here. Pull out of Michigan. There's the Wrigley building with the Trump Tower behind it, and that's the nice view back to the whole blue skyline there. Look, he's wearing the Oculus. That's awesome. That's great. That's the future right there. Look at that. He's using the augmented reality. We're living in the future. Yeah, the Tribune. This used to be the Tribune. You're exactly right. And here on the corner used to be WGN radio station. I remember when I moved here in 1999, the WGN radio broadcast would be going on right there. You could see the booth, and they would pump the broadcast. You had was a speaker there, and you could hear it. But now this is going to be a German watchmaker like Rolex or Omni, but it's A. Lang and Song. You know their watches there. I guess they're like the Swiss watchmakers, but they're like Geneva Seal. But they're German watchmakers here in the Tribune. See, they got all the rocks. They're checking out the rocks. You got the ancient temples there. There, the old central. There, we'll show this for. I know we got people tuning in from Ireland here. Here's the. Yeah, I appreciate it. Here's the old Boston, the old General Post Office here in Dublin. Look at that. How did we get that? And they put it in this building. You know what that is? Brian, do you know that? Yeah. It was the old post office in Dublin. We got the, see, Pompeii, St. Peter's in Rome there. Germany, we got some in Colorado from Mesa Verde. They stole it from a Native American site. Oregon Trail. Here's something from the Great Pyramid of Egypt, Gaza, or the Giza, Egypt. I'm sorry, Giza Pyramid there in Egypt. I got one vowel wrong there. But here's Illinois Street, Michigan Avenue. You like Grillo's pickles? There, you can become a Chicago lifeguard. They pay pretty well. Lamby T, how you doing there, Maria? Oh, it's Ruby. How you doing there, Maria R? Thanks, Ruby. Are you the one that made the stickers? Yeah, I know you and Tortoise. Maybe somebody else made the stickers there. Whoever. I need to get the name right there. I apologize. I sometimes I lose track of 90,000 people. But I appreciate you tuning in on the Lunch Bunch. It's much more intimate. We get to know each other better on YouTube, as we know we call each other the Lunch Bunch here. Thanks for tuning in here on YouTube. Appreciate it. Look at the tulips. So we'll just I'm heading home. I'm going to Lincoln Park. I'm trying to get my laptop home before the storms. I do have to head back downtown tomorrow, but I just don't want to be in a situation where I'm in the office till 5, and right when I want to leave is when these storms hit. And even if I take transit to avoid getting wet, it becomes a big mess. So I said, hey, why don't I just work from home this afternoon, and then if it rains, I'll already be home. If it storms, we're supposed to get storms later today here in Chicago, and we've been getting that crazy fog as we've been documenting there. Hey, Krista. Yeah. Yeah. We'll totally ignore Tundra there, and if Tundra makes another stupid statement like that, we're gonna just remove you, because it doesn't, that's just an idiotic statement. So here we'll cross Ohio and Michigan here. There, yeah, we'll cross here. We'll probably cross Michigan Avenue many times. I don't like waiting for the light. So if we keep moving here, we'll just keep moving here. We'll show you these tulips here. There it is. Look at these beautiful varieties of tulips here. Yeah, this is Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. This is Michigan Avenue. This is like, historically this was the shopping, high-end shopping district here. That's why they plant the tulips here, to get people to come down and look at the tulips and shop. Oak Street has a lot of high-end shops too. This is River North, and the area is called River North. We're north of the Loop, the Central Business District of Chicago. I'm walking home from work here. We might stop by the beach because we got a really warm day here today for May. Yeah, Lambie T, Chris is tuning in. Connor. That's okay, Chris. Thanks for having us on while I know you're working. Look at this orange Cybertruck. 74 ambulance. See, so the tulips are kind of past their peak. These were beautiful. That's why we documented them as much as we could. We walked up here several times. Hey, he's got a nice bouquet of flowers there. Look at that. So here, we'll cross the street yet again. We'll cross here at Ontario. This is Ontario. There's the RIU. Look, they have that glass balcony. You could look straight down off the edge of the building. I'm sure it has a spectacular view of the skyline there. So here's the 147. And yeah, I think the tulips are pretty much gone this way. There's La Katrina. It's hard to see her with the tree there, but we missed her because you know, I couldn't stand waiting for the light here. So we'll swing around here and we'll cross here at Ontario here. Yeah, Brian, you seeing this? Johnny. Hey, I'm an addict. You're yours truly here. You're intrepid moderator here. You're what do you don't like the things I take to expand my mind here? What are you on, Prozac? How you doing there? Marco, how you doing there? That's okay, Julie. Go back to work there. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. You watch enough. There's no obligation for anybody. Tune in at your convenience. Just like Michael. Michael's mowing the grass. You know, there's no obligation for anybody. I can... Oh. They're trying to get out here, and it's very hard with all the traffic here. Yeah, so heading up Michigan Avenue. Well, there's some more tulips up this way. We'll cross back and forth. Actually, I want to go this way. See, here's the, look, we'll show you the multiple levels of Starbucks here. Look, 4 levels of coffee drink. Look at all these people in there. So, yeah, let's, you know, I want to show, these tulips are just beautiful here. So I'm going to sneak across the street and stay on this side of the street because, yeah, those tulips are beautiful, but these are still blooming here. So we'll run across the street and we'll keep on going north here on Michigan Avenue. We're at Erie Street and Michigan. Look at these beautiful, we'll go by Nike Town here. Look at the beautiful tulips and the petunia, the pansies on the outside. Look, I like the colors here, yeah. Yeah, Connor, be nice. What's Connor doing here? Connor, you causing a ruckus here? What did Connor say? I know sometimes people, you know, you want to do it as a joke. I won't even look at it here, but I'll trust my mods here. And Compton, how you doing there? David, yeah, thanks for tuning in from California. I appreciate it. Yeah, they really don't appreciate people picking the tulips. I know normally you can just pick flowers, but you know, these are tulips here. So whatever you want to do, everybody does whatever the hell they do. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. No one listens to me anyway. I'm just a regular guy. Here's the Allerton Tip Top Tap. See, these tulips are all gone, but here's Rolex here. Here, we'll head up past the Sugar Store. It used to be the Disney store. But hey, let's head up to Oak Street Beach here. We got feels like the summer day here. Everybody's whipping out their summer clothes here. It's nice. Yeah, Dutch tulips. Yeah, the Netherlands. Remember when there was the Dutch tulip craze? It was like stocks. People would sell and trade tulip bulbs. Back in the 1600s, it was a bubble. Dubai, how you doing there? Susan, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, welcome to Chicago. We're on Michigan Avenue. We're at Superior in Michigan. We'll go by the water tower here. Look at the beautiful tulips here. We'll go by Neiman Marcus. I'm sure you got Neiman Marcus. You got Tiffany's in Dubai. You got all the major shops just like we got here. And we're heading up to Oak Street Beach here because we got a warm day for Chicago. We're 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 20 Celsius. And we're going to take advantage of it. There's supposed to be storms coming later today. So I'm going to get home before the rain hits. And that's why I'm walking this way. I made a split time decision. I didn't, an hour ago I was going to walk back to the Congress Hotel because I posted that rerun, but I want to get home before this storm hits tonight because it's going to hit right when my evening walk is. At least according to the forecast. Hey, we got sirens. 43. Yeah, the storm's starting at 3. That's why I want to get home before then. Thanks to Lord for the good information. Remember, I got caught in that hail the last time. Jeremy was messaging me to get off the street. And I had to shelter under a bus station, a bus shelter. I didn't want to do that again. So I didn't get pelted with hail. I was almost home. I thought I was going to make it. So it seems like the storms, when it heats up there, it always seems to happen in the evening rush when we get these warm days at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the warm season. So we'll wait here. This is Michigan Avenue. See, look at these tulips here. Let's document these beautiful tulips here. See, they're doing a promotion here, so I don't want to get sold something here. But look at these beautiful tulips here. These is in front of Ralph Lauren, Victoria's Secret's down there. That's Superior, Michigan, but we're up at Chicago, Michigan. We'll cross the street and we'll keep heading north here. Hey, here's the Water Tower Chicago, the Great Water Tower Chicago. You see the John Hancock, the 900 North Michigan building, Water Tower Place. And the pump house is across the way. Of course, these two buildings survived the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. And that's why they save them here as a monument. They used to be in the middle of the street. They widened the street and put the street in between them. It used to be Pine Street, but now they changed it. And here's our castle. This is our castle water tower here in Chicago. Hey, the fountain's on. People are sitting out here having their lunch. It's exactly how this plaza is intended to be used. There, look at that. Great Water Tower, Chicago, under the trees there. Look at that. Yeah, nice picture here. Here's the fountain here. It smells great. It smells like chlorine. Yeah, I'm going to Oak Street Beach. I know you probably just tuned in. I said it 10 times, but I know you just tuned in. We're going to Oak Street Beach, and then I'm heading to Lincoln Park because I'm heading home from work because it's going to rain. Thanks for tuning in here. Come along for the ride. If not, you can watch something else. You aren't going to offend me. If this doesn't interest you, that's fine. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're on Michigan Avenue. We're heading up to Oak Street Beach in Chicago. And one of the, perils of live streaming is you got to repeat yourself over and over because people keep tuning in the live. And if you don't answer their comments, they take it personally. And if I miss your comment, I'm trying not to get run over by a car here or trip on the sidewalk. Yeah, check out the water tower. How you doing there, Sarah? Yeah, the buildings are nice. Yeah, look at this architecture. So I know Chicago has problems, but at least we got some nice architecture, some interesting things. So people still, hey, some good news. Our population's holding steady. They just did a census for 2024, and supposedly we gained 77,000 people. I need to go back and look into it. Somebody messaged me that we were losing population consistently even before the pandemic, and multiple reasons for that. It got accelerated during the pandemic. A lot of people left this city, and now it's finally people are starting to come back. So come on back, Chicago misses you. The weather's getting nice. Yeah. Hey, good. Hey, happy Thursday here. Yeah, how you doing there? It's great. Yeah. Yeah, see, look at that. There, we'll head with the, I might just take a peek since we're going by the 4th Presbyterian Church. They opened it up If you ever seen my best friend's wedding, a lot of people have weddings here. You can go into this courtyard. This is the Fourth Presbyterian Church. It was here long before the John Hancock. It's one of the oldest buildings in this area because this whole area was destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire. And we'll take a peek inside here. And we've done it before here, but since you see it's open from 10 to 2. See how they're walking in there? Come on in. Free choral concert, 2 p.m. today. Yes, Julia Roberts, my best friend's wedding scenes filmed here. Yeah, let's head. Oops, sorry. See you Monday through Friday, 10 to 2. I'll take my hat off, and respectfully, I'll show you this beautiful interior of this church here. Appreciate it. So they're getting ready for the choral. They're getting ready for the choral here.
After the warm-up, you'll have a break, and then we'll do the whole show with an audience. How wonderful. And Daniel's going to put some lights on us, which will make it easier to see. Good. All right, you don't need your folders for this just now. Stand tall. Feet shoulder-width apart. That's nice. Let your chest be high, let your shoulders be back. Good. Good. Amy, can I have a B flat, please? Good. Top teeth on lower lip, make singing the letter V. Just listen. Very nice. Good. Let the air keep spinning the whole time. Good. Make a phrase out of it. Very nice. Good. Wake up your eyes. Open your throat and back. Very nice. Good. Keep your chest high the whole time. Good. Lean into it just a little bit. Very nice. 2 more. Good. Last one. Good. It's a nice sound. Teenager, please. So in this vocalese, what we focus on is having the last note really spin and have energy and life. Digga, 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 dee. Go. Digga, 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 digga. Good. Nice.
Inside the guest book here. Thank you. Thank you. So here's the Fourth Presbyterian Church. Fourth Presbyterian Church here in Chicago. If it looks familiar, if you've seen my best friend's wedding with Julia Roberts. And then see, they've opened from, they're going to have a concert here too, and that's what they're practicing for. And I wish I could stick around for it, but I gotta get back in case somebody's looking for me for work, so I gotta get home here. But hey, thanks for checking that out there. We might cut that out. And we've done it before there, the Fourth Presbyterian Church there. Thanks for tuning in there. So here, we'll cross here at Delaware and Michigan Avenue. There's the old Playboy building. And there's, see, the Fourth Presbyterian Church is right across from the John Hancock. So we'll head up here and we'll try to get across the street so we can go to Oak Street Beach here and see what the lake looks like. Wasn't that nice, Joel? Did you see that, Lorraine? Yeah. Was that? Yeah, glorifying God there, Chris. Yeah, your diaphragm. You got to sing from your diaphragm there. That's great. Sarah and Sandra, Star TV, choir practice. You got it right, Karen. Tara, I'm glad you saw that. Sandra. See, it pays to watch here at lunchtime. If I missed your comment, thanks for tuning in there. That was the Fourth Presbyterian Church. And check out that movie, My Best Friend's Wedding, with Julia Roberts there. And you know, if you're shopping on Michigan Avenue from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on weekdays, they'll let you tour that for free. There's usually a nice woman there at the front, and she's just like, go on in. And you can donate. You can, of course, donate, but that's probably one of the wealthiest churches. The people that go to that church are probably the people that hang out at these clubs here. It's probably some of the most wealthiest people that live in Chicago go to that church and have weddings. So don't worry about donating to it. They got plenty of money. So that's why they can fund that choral there, that choir. But here, welcome to Chicago. See 900 North Michigan building here. Yeah. See people greeting their friends here, and we're head up to Oak Street Beach. I can't, it's like a full amount of people across the sidewalk. I kept going to the right, and she kept walking to the right too. Hey, Chicago loves you. Ida, how you doing there? Calgary, Canada, thanks for tuning in, Jason. Appreciate it. Yeah, you were humming. Yeah, wasn't that nice? He had like the kazoo. He was like doing the warm up, the choral warm up here. So here we'll head up. Looks like all these people are going to the beach. What a good day to go to the beach. Twist my arm. Yeah, give me an excuse to walk home on the beach here in an 82-degree day. I'm gonna take it. And we were here last night. We saw the crazy fog. If you missed it, you can watch my rerun there on TikTok. We saw the heavenly fog there on these Gold Coast buildings, and so it's not as foggy today. It might be, the storm's coming later today. And so here's the Drake Hotel. Let's head to the beach here. Hey, how you doing? Hey, thanks for saying hello. Brian, really Chicago. How you doing? You guys head to the beach? What a nice weather day.
What a nice day.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm really excited.
You guys got the right idea.
Hey,
yeah, I'm on YouTube here.
Play some frisbee.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm only on TikTok, but I don't trust TikTok. I'm always getting banned, you know. I'll talk to you later. It's good. So here, we'll keep going here. It's humid. Yeah, it's humid. Look at that here. So, hey, Chris. Yeah, it's humid. Yeah, it's really starting to feel like summer. And that's why I'm heading to the beach. Hopefully this time of year, the beach, it's like natural air conditioning. But not today. It's 80 degrees right up to the beach. So if you like warm days for the beach here, today's the day to go. Yeah. Ricky, how you doing there? Northwest suburbs, that's great. Yeah, we got over 100 suburbs throughout Chicagoland. Thanks for tuning in here. Give pizza a chance. Pizza Lisa would like that, D. Michael. Yeah. Kapil, how you doing there? Cindy. Yeah, Portland, Oregon. Isn't that amazing? I know, Portland, you struggle with, just like we do, a homeless population. I have an uncle that lives in the exurbs of Portland, like way out, and he tells me stories of how Portland's changed. Here's our friend with the basketball. We always see our friend with the basketball. How you doing? That's great. He's heading through there. Take your basketball and go to the beach here. Yeah. So there's restrooms here. I think the restrooms are open, which is good. I don't know if there's showers. There's just restrooms here. It would be nicer if there were showers, but here we'll head up to the beach here. People riding. See, there's men's and women's here. Kids are playing in the sand there. We'll head up to the beach here. Hey, thanks for the chocolate heart there. Yeah, D. Michael's tuning in from the desert there. The Mojave Desert always gives us a weather report, which is great. Yeah, we were warmer than Mojave Desert probably today too. So I moved to Chicago in 1999. I grew up in Indiana. So I grew up in the cornfields of Indiana. I'm a farm boy, moved to the city. I'm not a native Chicago, nor have I never claimed to be. I've never claimed. But I lived here over half my life, so does that count? My adult life where I pay for my own rent, and nobody can choose where they're born. And there's so many people that were born in Chicago that no longer live here. And hey, here's the beach. We made it. See, we're at Oak Street Beach. So we walked up Michigan Avenue. We went past those buildings there. This is the Gold Coast. And there's where we saw the crazy fog with the setting sun there yesterday. But look at everybody hanging out here at the beach. They got the deck chairs out. This is the earliest I've ever seen them have the deck chairs out. So here, it's a true summer beach day, even here on May the 15th, 2025 here. You have to pay to use these chairs. And you can bring your own. You just have to haul them here. See how these lay flat? And you can rent these chairs here if you don't want to get all sandy here on the beach here. So here we'll head through here. Let's head to the waves here. Let's head to the shore. And I mainly stream from Chicago. Yeah, because I'm not wealthy enough to travel. We see all these I spend so much on housing just to live here in Chicago that I literally can't afford to travel as much as I do. I do go visit family. We're going to take a trip to Houston. But the stock market will never sell off. And so, since I'm a stubborn person that likes it when the stock market goes down, I'm always continually poor. Because the stock market only goes one direction, even when we got a trade war going on. But here's the shores of Lake Michigan, Gold Coast of Chicago, and this is called Oak Street Beach. And we got 82 degrees here, May the 15th, 2025. We're 12:34 in the PM local time. I'm heading home from work here because there's storms coming tonight, and I want to make it home before the storms. We don't know if they're starting at 3 p.m. or 5. We'll see when they get here. But look at all the people at the beach here. What a beautiful day. Hey, they're throwing rocks in the water. We saw some people swimming yesterday. This is pretty cold water. But look at all the people at the beach here. A lot of exposed skin. It's good to see. Feels like summer. Hey, we got 250 people watching. Look, I go to the beach and everybody tunes in. Look at this. We were in a church, and now I went to the beach. How you doing? So here, we'll head through here. Hey, you're from India. That's good. Thanks for tuning in. That's great. So here, we'll head up to the concrete wall here. Look at all the beautiful people here. Enjoying the 80-degree weather here. Hey, there's a jet ski out there. So if we zoom in, there's a jet ski. There's one of the water intake cribs there. Look at that. Yeah. See, everybody wants to see the beach. Everybody wants to see how warm it is here. I need to go to the beach more often here on YouTube. We do this often on TikTok. But hey, thanks for tuning in here. And there were a lot of people digging holes and stuff. We saw it yesterday. Here's some, maybe this was a sandcastle here. There's somebody in the water. Somebody's in the water there. The water's like 50 degrees. And that's why it's making the crazy fog. But look at all the people here enjoying the beach here. There's the John Hancock. You can look back to Navy Pier there. Oak Street Beach. This is Chicago. If you don't, please, you know, don't install your or my intelligence. You know, if you don't know what country Chicago's in, just give up. We'll start over. You know, maybe you know New York's the same country that New York City's in. And this is not New York, this is Chicago. So thanks for tuning in. And how you doing there? Yeah, thanks Anita. Thanks for helping out there. I appreciate my great audience, smart audience here. Yeah, where's the sharks? There's the shark. He's not afraid of the sharks. People this morning were telling me there's alligators on the Michigan side of Lake Michigan, and I'm not, you know, I guess there's freshwater alligators, but I'm like, how do they survive the winter, you know? But hey, look at, it's nice to see exposed skin, all these beautiful people out here enjoying the day here. So here, we'll head through here. Hey, you can read the book here. How you doing? And we'll head up this way. No, Lake Michigan doesn't have sharks. There are freshwater sharks, but as far as I know, every year somebody says they discover a shark in Lake Michigan, and then maybe it's true, but maybe somebody put it there. Same with alligators. But here we are. This is Oak Street Beach, May the 15th, 2025. We have an amazingly warm 82 degree day, which is pretty good for the springtime here. And everybody's just sunning here, walking up the playa here. We'll do the same thing here. And this is going to go on all summer. We got the whole summer ahead of us. So look at this. It's so nice to see. Just beautiful people walking through and sunning themselves. The people jogging on the lakefront there. Look at that view. You got this nice view to the John Hancock, Oak Street Beach, Michigan Avenue. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Thanks for Brian, really Chicago. Yeah, how you doing? What a beautiful day, isn't it?
It's amazing.
I'm glad you're out enjoying the nice weather.
You're out today.
Oh yeah, I'm heading home because there's storms coming tonight, and I want to get home before the storms. So.
I know. Did you see Marcus on TikTok? He was talking about that.
Oh really? Yeah, I got to check it out. What's your name?
Bennett.
Bennett. Thanks for saying hello. That's awesome. Have a great day. That's awesome. Yeah. See, what a great day. Thanks for saying hello. How you doing? What a beautiful day. Hey, what a beautiful day to come out to the lake. Yeah, Brian Really Chicago. That's great. Thanks for saying hello. So here, look what you see here. I won't zoom in because I know I get criticized. We'll get a bunch of perverts here making comments, so I got to be careful. And you know, this is a public beach. This is just like walking down the street. People are in public. This is my First Amendment free speech right. I try not to be creepy about it. I know people are a lot of exposed skin, a lot of skimpy bikinis, but people know they're in public, and the people are being nice and friendly. They realize I'm a public figure myself. And look, here's hey, they're twisting the batons around there. They got some hoops and activities going on here. It's like, hey, he's got a Pokemon hat here, so let's see what they're doing here. How you doing there? That's good. That's good. How you doing there? Yeah. This goes on all summer long too. Here, people come out here and rollerblade, and I've seen DJs out here. Yeah, the Lake Michigan. Yeah, everybody's going to be a critic. Whether I zoom in or not, people are going to be critic. Whether I zoom in, I only did it once. And if you say a comment again, we will block you, because I am being respectful. Don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight my audience. I'm filming men and women, and this is public beach, and I'm allowed to zoom in because it's my First Amendment free speech right. If you don't like it, watch something else. I am dead serious. And I'll be walking up and down these beaches all summer long. If you can't handle it, grow up. You know. You see what Instagram's full of OnlyFans, and Instagram creeps me out. It'll feed me underage people, and I have to like turn it off. I'm like, why is Zuckerberg making money off of these feed? And they'll have like hundreds of thousands of followers, and if you look at the comments, they're horrible. Our society's full of this, and if you want to put it on me, you're in the wrong area here. This is a public beach. You go to Miami, Florida, Las Vegas, you'll see worse than this. We're enjoying summertime. And if you're ashamed by the human body, you're the pervert. So here, thank you. Thanks, Scott. How you doing there? Yeah. I know, Tara, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard. Instagram, they show me wrecks. They show me snuff videos. They show racist things. Instagram's horrible. And Zuckerberg, you know, now he's sucking up to the Trump administration, because they all have to. Even Tim Cook is on the hot seat. He wants to, because of the tariffs, he was going to move some of his Apple operations from China to India. Well, the president's all over that. He wants to move them back to the United States, which is fine, but it's just going to make iPhones more expensive, which is fine. iPhones are expensive now anyway. So it's just going to add to inflation. So I don't know, you know, these are hard decisions. You know, thanks for understanding there. Peace and Lisa, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Lisa, I'm getting shamed for just walking down the beach. So, yeah, how's it going there? See, you notice we had more people tuning in when I was at the beach. Everybody zoomed in. They were like recording my video and pausing it. You know, find those people. Yeah, Nia, how you doing there? Yeah, see. So here we'll head up to North Avenue Beach here. We got a beautiful 80-degree day here, and we walked by Oak Street Beach there, and yeah, support the Mexican ice pop vendor. You see they sell ice cream, they sell real Coca-Cola with the real sugar from Mexico, and you could support the vendors here. Drew and I were at the May Day parade, and there was immigrant families with their kids. The babies were selling candy, and they were on their mothers' backs, and it's interesting. So Adrian, how you doing there? Yeah, we're Gen X. You're right. See, we can handle it. We're Gen X, you know. But see, last night we saw the fog going through here. I posted that on TikTok. It reminded me of Sarah and John James and Diana. You know, it was a very magical moment. Thanks for those that experienced it live. If you couldn't, I understand. Not everybody can watch all the time. That's why I posted the rerun. You go to TikTok, we saw an interesting atmospheric effect with the fog. The fog was the lakes warming up, and the sun was setting behind these buildings, and it caused these interesting light hitting the vapor, you know. Yeah, how you doing there? JBC, how you doing? Hey, look, there's the clipper ship. There's the Windy there. Look at that. There's a pirate ship out on Lake Michigan. That's the Windy that sails from Navy Pier. Hey, Christopher, people were shaming me because I was just walking through the beach. You know, I can't help that people are wearing thongs and, you know. It was so funny, Christopher, too. Like, there was only like 100 people watching when I was in the church, and they were singing choral music. We went to the 4th Presbyterian. Then I walk up to Oak Street Beach. We go up to 250 people because I was at the beach, and there was a bunch of women in bikinis. And now we're back to, well, we're up to 277, so I guess some people stayed, which is good. Maybe they're waiting for me to go by North Avenue Beach. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. I'm heading home from work before the storms come. I'm normally not up in this area. Somebody did ask if I ever show the lake on YouTube, and we're showing it today. So I guess that's why we got a lot more people in here, and there's supposed to be storms later on. So hey, there's the dog, the bike path. Thanks for tuning in there. Big Serb. Milwaukee, how you doing there? I know, Christopher, it happens every time. And it probably, you know, I know people are allowed to make comments. You know, we're gonna offend people on the right, we're gonna offend people on the left. We know we're doing something right when we're offending both people on the left and the right at the same time. Yeah, the best vibes there. But check out Christopher Dotson there. I saw it was raining. I saw your video, Christopher. You were walking across the Brooklyn Bridge there with you got crazy storms and rain there yesterday, and so yeah, the concrete beach. We saw somebody jump in here like Tuesday. We walked by here. They were filming something for. I looked it up on, I think they're filming, there's some programs on Apple TV, they're filming around town here. Here's a jet ski. There's a jet ski out in the lake there. But here, we'll head up to North Avenue Beach here. This is just normal stuff. Yeah, it was raining like crazy. I know, that's why I gave you a like there. I know what that's like, trying to stream in the rain and walking across a bridge when it's windy and nasty, and you're up there 100 feet above the water. But the Brooklyn Bridge is beautiful. I'm glad you showed it at different weather conditions, because that's a very unique experience there. I walked across that bridge. You can stand in the middle and see the Statue of Liberty. And people don't believe me. It's real far away. But you can actually see the Statue of Liberty from the Brooklyn Bridge when you're in the middle there. And so here you see, now we can see, we couldn't even see the skyline last night because it was so foggy. Now we can see the skyline. Here comes the guy on the bike here. How you doing? How you doing? What a beautiful day, yeah. What a beautiful day here. Yeah, Jorge, how you doing there? Big Serb. So here, we'll head around here, and we'll head up to North Avenue Beach here. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it wasn't bad with the rain, I know. I bet it gets crowded with all the tourists in the summertime, you know. It probably becomes annoying trying to cross that thing at certain times of the year. Hey, people brought their bikes down here. And there's a great view here. I'll show you the view here. Hey, I like his hairdo. That's great. So here's the bike path. We'll go up to the Chess Pavilion. But here's this amazing view we get of the Chicago skyline here. We're up by North Avenue Beach, up by the Chess Pavilion. And this is the Gold Coast here. Fog conditions at Wrigley Field. Oh yeah, it's been foggy last night, and Tuesday night it was foggy because the lake's trying to warm up. And that's why it feels like natural air conditioning on hot spring days. You can come to the lake and cool down, and if it's still hot by the lake, you can always jump in the water. That'll cool you off lickety split. Here's the Chess Pavilion. There's some people playing chess here. Chess Pavilion here. Lincoln Park, Chicago. How you doing? That's great. How you doing? That's awesome. So here's people riding the bike here. We'll let them stay on the inside there. I know what it's like. Sometimes you feel like you're going to ride into the lake when you ride along here. Yeah, the concrete beach. People always make fun of our concrete beach. It's really a break wall. It's to stop the waves from breaking onto the bike path in Lakeshore Drive. There's somebody swimming. They're swimming with a buoy there, so that's the safe way to swim there. Swimming in the lake there. But hey, we'll head over to North Avenue Beach. What time we got? 12:48. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Lake Michigan. How's the weather in Omaha, Pizza? Lisa, is it pretty hot? Look, there's a big laker out there. Look off on the horizon. That's a big laker that comes in through the locks there. It probably came all the way up to St. Lawrence. And it's probably heading down to the port of Indiana. Yeah, I wish you were here. Yeah, we've gone to the Montrose Beach Bird Sanctuary. I want to go back up there. They have a lot of activities up at Montrose Beach. They usually on Fridays they jump in the water. But yeah, there's a beautiful bird sanctuary. I like that area anyway because it's far enough away from Lakeshore Drive. You don't hear the traffic noise of Lakeshore Drive. There's people fishing here. A lot of people fish here. They said there's good fishing in certain areas here because there used to be a pier that's kind of submerged. And look at that. 75 degrees. Sounds nice. That's good. Yeah, fishing here. That's great. Yeah, fishing. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, they haul all kinds of stuff. Sometimes, you know, there are still steel mills that are still working in Gary and Hammond and Michigan City. And I don't know if it's iron ore or something else. There are grain elevators, not really used as much anymore. But there are still shipments that go in the Calumet Harbor and the Port of Indiana. I don't know where that one's going, but they don't come into downtown anymore. Imagine when the old days, the big Lakers would come right downtown. Look at this nice view. Look at that. It's amazing. Hey, this may lost their balloon. How you doing? So here we'll head over to North Avenue Beach here. Yeah, Eileen, we're in Chicago. Thanks, Anita. Thanks for helping out. Sometimes I miss the comments. Yeah, welcome to Chicago. This is Lake Michigan, and there's a boat there. There's the skyline of Chicago, the John Hancock. Got overcast skies because there's storms gathering. And we'll head right through here. There were people playing volleyball here last night in the fog. There's some people playing volleyball over here. Yeah, it's migration season. You're right. Yeah, we got the herons are back. A lot of migratory birds go through not just Chicago, but all areas of the country here at this time of the year. 125 bird species. Yeah, we'll go up there, Pizza. We'll get up there, Lisa. Everywhere I go, there's always somewhere else to go. And I get frustrated because I want to go to all these places, but it takes time and effort, and I got a day job, and I got to go back to work here. And I'm walking home so I can work from home this afternoon because we're getting storms later. And it's working out here because people tuned in just to see the beach here. And I don't often film the beach on YouTube. Sometimes we film Ohio Street Beach over by Navy Pier on YouTube, but we usually don't get up to this area. And especially on an 82-degree day in May, which is rare for Chicago. Here's Castaways. They were filming here last night. I guess they're filming some for Apple TV. I won't go over to the beach here because I don't want to get accused of zooming into people in public. Bunch of prudes here watching. You go to the beach and you cover your eyes. You don't look at, like, you know, men in shorts without their shirts or women in bikinis. You cover your eyes. You're so scandalized by people in beach attire. Yeah, you want to hear near-death stories? What you want to hear? I was mugged and, you know, attacked by the police, attacked by the gangs. You want to hear I was attacked and how horrible Chicago is? Yeah, I can tell you a bunch of stories. Hey, look at the beach. Look at the volleyball here. Hey, there's people on jet skis. North Avenue Beach. Yeah, Christopher. Now, I've been walking in this city for 26 years. Fortunately, knock on wood, maybe it'll happen today, maybe it'll happen right now. But fortunately, I have, you know, I've had some close calls where I felt like I was going to get mugged, but I got out of there and de-escalate the situation. And a few times people confronted me for live streaming. They don't want to be filmed, and I understand that. And so I'm like, I'll film something else. Thanks for letting me know. You know, I won't. If people let me know they don't want to be filmed, I stop filming them. And I usually, by accident, I don't even realize I'm filming it because they're in the background. See, they're still filming for some movie here, or some Apple TV show here. So here we'll head down North Avenue Beach here. Hey, it's just nice to see people at the beach here. See, welcome to North Avenue Beach. Yeah, you got to read every situation. Yeah, every situation, you got to see what people's state of mind are. If people are agitated, leave them alone, because if they're angry about something else before they met you, they're going to be angry when they see you. And there's a lot of angry people in the world, frustrated people, people that are struggling to make it through the day, you know, and everybody has their own mental state. Even me, sometimes I lose it. And thanks for tuning in here. Here's the look at that. Yeah, Tara. There's plenty of places you can go to check out Chicago filming locations on X, former Twitter, and there's also a website, Chicago Filming Locations. They list the dates, and there's several things being filmed all the time, not just this city. New York City has the same thing. I'm sure LA, and maybe even Las Vegas. But here we're at North Avenue Beach here. We'll show you the nice vista here. Look at that. So off in the distance, see way up there. So that's Montrose, that bird sanctuary that we were talking about. That's that peninsula there way off on the horizon. That's Montrose. And we got reruns. We were up in Montrose earlier. This housing's all in Lakeview that you're seeing up there. That's all Lakeview north of Diversey. And this is North Avenue Beach. That's Lake Michigan. And we got a beautiful 82-degree day. And hey, they got the Shore Club open. So we walked by here last night. It wasn't open. Today the Shore Club's open. So hey, we can announce that May the 15th, 2025 is a Thursday. The Shore Club's open. Let's check it out here. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for saying hello. Brian Ray, Chicago. That's great. Here's the Shore Club. Yeah, they'll let people out in these cabanas here. But it's going to be hard filming through the window. But yeah, the Shore Club here. There it is. Shore Club's open here, right at North Avenue Beach. They'll open up all these cabanas. Look at all they got, these cabanas and stuff. And the Castaways will open later this season. You can sit on top of the boathouse there. And here's the Shore Club. They'll open up these windows. No, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they air condition it. So I guess maybe not. Yeah, people will be negative no matter what I film. I film a squirrel, someone doesn't like it. If I film a tree, someone will make a political statement about the tree, you know. It's just, this city itself attracts so many comments. But hey, they're playing football here, tossing the football around North Avenue Beach. But here we'll head across this pedestrian bridge. See, other photographers are out here. It's not just me. We're not all creeps. I feel like the Radiohead song. I'm a creep. I don't belong here. What the hell am I doing here? I'm a creep. Yeah, Tara, you know what's going on. We can go to Wisconsin. The Wisconsin River has some nude beaches. It's not the good nudity. It's like, should I put something on there? We don't know who wants to see that. That's in Wisconsin. We're in Chicago. Hey, okay, so here we'll take a nice last look here. Look at all the beautiful people out here at North Avenue Beach here. 82-degree day. Look at that. Isn't that nice? See, we got the whole summer ahead of us. So we're going to be filming this many times as we head through the summer season on our way home from work. I'm very fortunate that this is on my way home from work. Isn't this an amazing walk? You know, and we did it in wintertime. We did it in the fog. So hey, look at that nice view. Look at that. See, we couldn't even see this yesterday. Yesterday we couldn't even see this view because of the fog. Look at that. So here we're crossing DeSable Lakeshore Drive from North Avenue Beach into Lincoln Park. And we'll head through here. And look. I'm trying to make people comfortable to not think I'm following them when they have their kids and stuff. Here's DeSable Lakeshore Drive looking south. Look at this nice view. It's like a summer's day here. So we'll head across. Here's Lakeshore Drive looking north. But I posted those reruns of the Congress Hotel to TikTok. We got them on YouTube as well. We did it a year ago. I snuck around the Congress Hotel and we got some good footage there. Hey, it's open. It wasn't open yesterday, so the hot dog stand is open here, so we'll show it here. There, you can get drinks and snacks and hot dogs, whatever else they got there. So we'll head around here. There's that bridge we just crossed here. So here, El Chuzo Express, here it is. Go to El Chuzo. El Chuzo's open, that's great. You can sit here at the table here. They got some picnic tables. I think they'll put awnings on them later. But here we'll head across the soccer field. Nobody's playing here, so we can walk right across the middle of the soccer field. It'll help out my feet. Yeah, it's always the old people that do beaches. Yeah, it's the old fat people. No offense, you know. I'm old and fat too. So I'm talking about myself. But here we'll head through. We'll head through the soccer field here, and it's nice, easier on my feet here. This nice, smooth playing surface here. Hey, see people walking through here. That's great. See, so there's Lake Michigan. We just crossed this bridge here. Yeah, I'm bored of hot dogs. I'm bored of people asking me about Chicago hot dogs. You know, when I could care less about hot dogs until I moved to Chicago, and it's a big thing. You know, it was the Polish hot dog, Maxwell Street Polish, was invented in Chicago, down by Maxwell Street in Halstead. We talk about it when we go down there. And Chicago has a lot of hot dog stands. So the cuisine that Chicago is known for is very lowbrow American food that steals from other cultures and reinvents it as American. Of course, the hot dog, Polish hot dog, the Frankfurter, the German sausage links became like a hamburger, really came from Germany. That's why it's named hamburger. There's Hamburg, Germany. Chicago style pizza, we stole from Italy, but we made it our own. We made this meaty meatloaf pie like pizza that's so filling. If you ate it every day, you'd have a heart attack. And Italian beef, you know, something else, you know, some hybrid from Italian cuisine where it's just a bunch of meat on a hoagie, but you put a lot of garnishes on it there and stew the meat there and get the sauce, like the au jus sauce. It's great. And yeah, you want some hot dogs with ketchup and relish. And the Chicagoans don't like ketchup on their hot dogs because in the old days you had to use a strong mustard because you couldn't trust, it was low quality meat, and so you wanted a vinegary sauce to cover up the rotten meat. Hey, look at that. There's the view to the skyline. I feel a cool breeze here, so hey, let's head over. We can walk right through the zoo. And I know I should be back at work by now, but I'll be able to work past in this evening because I'll have my laptop home here. So we'll see when this rain hits tonight. But here they're playing basketball. Usually there'll be more people here later tonight, but maybe not tonight if the storms hit. We'll head over to the south pond here and see if we see any little geese, or if we're really lucky, we'll see some beavers, but no guarantee. It's really hot, so I expect the beavers are probably in their lodge chilling out. But here's some geese. We'll check out the geese here. The dog's liking the geese there. Look at that. There, see what that dog's looking at? Just looking at these geese here. Yeah, Lambie T. Yeah, you know, research it. You can research it online. I hope sometimes I generalize things that, you know, and people get me over the details, but yeah, that's generally how I understand it. But here, let's check out the geese here. Yeah, that dog's checking it out too. All the dogs are checking out the geese here. They're fascinated by the geese here. How you doing there, geese? Eating the grass? Yeah. Imagine that, you just step outside and everywhere you look is food. And they poop on the grass and then they eat the grass that they poop on. I've seen geese poop in the water and they drink the water they're pooping in and they're fine. Yeah, see, I'm very lucky and fortunate. I pay a lot of rent to live near this park. And yeah, some of the housing around here is really expensive. People ask me about it all the time. I don't have a car. Why am I walking so much? You know, I could take a bus or a train, but Keys Impact has a nice video about they might cut service to the CTA because it's underfunded. And it wouldn't surprise me. And so all of us might be walking here pretty soon if they cut CTA service on weekends. But that's the age we're living in, the age of cuts. They're talking about cutting Medicare to give billionaires tax cuts. So maybe that's what you voted for. But please have a little bit of empathy on people that actually need Medicare. And it's all based on debt anyway. So I know we got a debt problem. I admit that too. I don't know what the answer is. We got some tough decisions ahead of us no matter who's in charge. So here's the bat habitat. This is the South Pond. Hey, there's some turtles. There's some turtles on the Turtle Rock there. Look at all those turtles. Hey, there's Turtle City. Remember we saw all those turtles on the Saturday, and that's where they're hanging out. They're sunning themselves. They're warming up on an 82-degree day. No, the geese are pretty used to humans, and stinky people like me walking by them. These geese, they stay year-round. They don't even migrate. They stay here through the winter. And as long as there's liquid water, which they have little things that aerate, these ponds do freeze over solid, like enough where you can ice skate on them, but the geese can still find ways to get water. Hey, there's some turtles. Look at these turtles here. Turtles in this is a nature sanctuary by the this is called the South Pond here in Lincoln Park, south of the Lincoln Park Zoo. I'm sweating. Yeah, people complain about taxes, just hate work. I know. And people are like, you know, why can't we just have tariffs like we had in the 1890s? The size of the federal government is orders of magnitude larger than it was in the 1890s. Our military is orders of magnitude larger. Our Department of Defense, and you can cut USAID, you can cut Medicaid, but it still drops. You know, yeah, probably the largest is Social Security, Medicaid, and Department of Defense. The Department of Defense is probably half of the government expenditure right there, and it doesn't look like they're cutting that anytime soon. Or at least not enough to solve the budget problem. And a lot of people are employed, a lot of civilians are employed by the Department of Defense, and we all benefit from the technology. DARPA created so many technologies, including artificial intelligence now, that social media companies and chips and the microwave oven and nuclear weapons, all this fun stuff that makes your life so much, you can sleep easy at night. They're like, there'll never be nuclear war. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. Yeah, the misappropriation of funds. Yeah, there's always government waste. You know, I mean, okay, let's for example, let's talk about the Qatari plane. Okay, whether or not Trump accepts it as a gift or not, they said because it comes from a foreign government, which doesn't that go against America first? That the actual symbol of American power and influence in the world was made by a different country outside of America, and it's better than what America can make. It's better than what Boeing can make, and they can do it faster. But they would have to check the entire plane for bugs. They would have to dismantle it and put it back, and it would cost $1 billion and probably delay it for a year. You probably couldn't even use it for a year. And so it's just problematic. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's just practicalities. Here's the Beaver Lodge. Here's the Beaver Lodge in South Pond here. Look at the geese here. And look at this beautiful scene of nature here. Here's the Beaver Lodge, and they're probably in there right now. It might come out later tonight. And we saw a chipmunk yesterday, but no guarantee. We see the beavers. There might have been a beaver right there. Sometimes we see them right here. Sometimes we see them over here. Yeah, they're setting up for a photo shoot. People do this for photo shoots, the Genie Gang Pavilion here. But here's the geese. Look at this nice view. You get to the skyline here at the South Pond of Chicago. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, for him it's just business, but he's now a public figure. He's the president of the United States. So Jimmy Carter had to give up his business interest in his peanut farm to become president. He did that voluntarily, so there wouldn't be any perception of conflict of interest. And I know you might not like Jimmy Carter, especially if you like Trump. I'm sure you don't like Jimmy Carter, but he did a lot for Habitat for Humanity. He was a religious person, a spiritual person, and you got to respect that. And he did that. And so we know Trump likes to blur the line between enriching himself off of a public office. Everybody talks about the corruption in Chicago. There's corruption in Washington, D.C. It's bipartisan. I did not like Hunter Biden. He's the poster boy of corruption, nepotism of the son of a powerful politician. And I will be the first to agree that I don't like what Hunter Biden did either. But it doesn't excuse the other side for profiting off of a public office, whether it's cryptocurrency or taking a plane as a gift, even if they're not going to use it after, because it helps his ego. And it shows you foreign governments can stroke his ego and influence his decisions. What if Vladimir Putin gave him a plane? What's the difference? You know, that would look really bad. And whether they're allies or not. So here, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. This is just my opinion. I do not care or expect anybody others' political opinion to agree with mine. I expect you to have your own opinions, and I respect that. And I'm not here to have a political debate. I'm just, things come up in the normal discussion of live streaming. We have to address it, and if I don't address it, it's even worse. It's acting like nothing's going on. I can't stick my head in the sand like a ostrich and act like we're not living through interesting times. And that was a curse from the Chinese. May you live through interesting times. Here's the usually war. Here's Cafe Brar. Here's where we see the beavers sometimes when I don't see them. But we might see the geese. And here's the zoo. And we'll walk through the zoo. Is that open? No, that gate's closed. I wish they used to open that gate. It was an easy way to walk into the zoo, but we'll stick here by the water. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot in the city. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we fought the Revolutionary War. I have ancestors that fought in the Revolutionary War, so King George III, we could escape the tyranny of a monarch. And I don't want people to elect a king either, you know. And, oh, there's a frog. Yeah. Look at these frogs here. Yeah, how you doing there? Look at the frogs. See, we're seeing some nature here at the South Pond here. It's a bullfrog. Look at that. Yeah, my friend saw 4 beavers here the other night. There's a beaver lodge. Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Yeah, the trouble is it's way too small a territory for...
Yeah, they gnaw on the trees, and I've seen them here in years past, and they suddenly disappear because I think they take care of them. I know. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy the weather. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, she was just checking out the bullfrogs there, and so I don't see the beavers. I see a duck. There's a duck. Duck's on the pond. Somebody threw a can in the water. Yeah, the fall. We had the summer of love, and then we'll have the fall of hate. See the frogs? Yeah, it's the Budweiser frog. Budweiser. Bud. What is that? Is that a turtle? What is that? There's something in the water there. I can't tell what it is. Here comes the duck. So here, let's walk through the zoo. So I gotta get home. I gotta check my email. Here's probably somebody at work looking for me. They're like, "Oh, you're taking a long lunch break there, you jerk." See, this is an artificial waterfall, but it's nice when they turn it on. It kind of aerates the water. They'll probably turn it on later in the season. Here's this, look at this amazing view you get of the Chicago skyline here. And I'm fortunate I get to walk by this to and from work here. We do it in the morning and night. Cafe Briar here. Hey, let's walk through the zoo. Zoo's open. See if the flamingos are out. I'm not gonna spend much time here. I got reruns where we walk through the zoo several times. We check out different sections of the zoo and different animals. So if you're interested, message me. We can send you reruns. Lincoln Park Zoo. And I saw Jennifer You Should Eat was streaming from here. Other Chicago. Here's the magician here. And so here we'll walk this way. We'll walk over this bridge here. I usually go that way. We'll go this way. Here's, you see how they got some little, they sell beer and stuff here with certain events. Yeah, there's fishes in the pond, and people do fish there. They have signs that say no fishing since it's a nature sanctuary, but that doesn't stop people from fishing there. I see people fishing there all the time. Just in Jackson Park, we saw the same thing too. But this is the Lincoln Park Zoo. Hey, look at the ducks there. Oh, there's some little baby ducks. So we've seen baby geese. This is the first time I'm seeing baby ducks. There's a baby duck there. So hey, baby ducks here. See if it jumps in the water. You gonna take a dive there? Look at that. Yeah, thanks for getting my pun. There, look at that. That little baby duck jumped in the water there. Hey, there's Mama and Papa there. And let's see if we can see. There was two of them. There was another one. There's the baby ducks. There's the baby ducks swimming there in the Lincoln Park Zoo. There they go. Going up the log there. Which buildings? This is the Lincoln Park Zoo. All these buildings that you see in the background, this is Lincoln Park in the Gold Coast of Chicago. It's some of the most expensive real estate, and yeah, some of it is vacant for sale, but probably 95% of it is leased and sold and lived in. There is a lot of properties on the market in the Gold Coast, but there was always properties on the market in the Gold Coast as long as I've lived here for 26 years. And thanks for tuning in here. And we're in the Lincoln Park Zoo here, so I'm just filming the nice flowers here. And we're seeing it in late spring here. We're already 82 degrees at least. And see, they got a picnic area here. You can picnic here. They got restrooms. I could just bring my own picnic lunch when this is open as a free zoo. And I could just bring my own lunch and use this like my own veranda. Isn't that nice? And that's why I pay the high rent to live near here. Yeah, free zoo. Yeah, so much to see. There's the flamingos. Look at the flamingos. We'll see them when we go. Hopefully we can go across this bridge. Hopefully this bridge isn't closed. They have been working on it. But if we can walk across this bridge, we get to a nice view of the flamingos here. And this is the reptile house. They got a greenhouse. And that's where the, if you go in there, the bush babies are in there. We'll head across. Yeah, we can head across this bridge. This is perfect. We'll check out the flamingos. Here's a map of the zoo. Here's a, oh, sorry, I'm blocking you. Sorry. Okay. Here's a map of the Lincoln Park Zoo here. So yeah, we started here. We walked around Foreman Island. We went around the South Pond. That was that nice view, Cafe Bar. Now we're right here. So we're gonna walk across this bridge, check out the flamingos. We'll go by the seal pool and we'll head out. But see, it goes all the way, that's the Lincoln Park Zoo. You can find this online. You can search Lincoln Park Zoo map. You just do a Google search, Lincoln Park Zoo map, and find that same map there for free. Hey, the flamingos. Look at the flamingos. Look, what a beautiful day. Look at the flamingos here, Lincoln Park Zoo. Look at that. What a beautiful day. The sun's coming out. How you doing? We'll walk across here. And the swans are up this way. Here's the flamingos. And look at that. What a beautiful. How you doing? Appreciate it. Here's the swans. Here's the swans. See, there's two swans here. They're always hanging out. I call this the swan pond because there's the swans. Well, here, let's go check out the flamingos. Oops, sorry. It always makes me nervous when I go through the zoo because people bring their families and the kids always start following me, and I'm like, I'm trying to get away from the kids and they keep following me. Here, let's check out the flamingos here real quick. Yeah, City of Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. If you can't figure out what country Chicago's in, you know, I can't help you there. But hey, how you doing? I'm live streaming here on YouTube here. Here's, look at that. Here's the flamingos here. Look at that. Yeah, they're eating the food there. Look at the beautiful flamingos here, Lincoln Park Zoo. How you doing there? They're enjoying the hot weather here. And see these other type of birds, they're always in here too. Nah, Christy, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're enjoying it here. I'm almost home here. So here we'll head past this. There's the food court over there. They got restaurants and you can sit outside here. We'll head up to the seal pond here. Nah. Do you live in the USA? I was born in the USA like Bruce Springsteen. Thanks for tuning in. No, I know it's confusing. You know, it's hard. You know, social media doesn't give you enough information. You know, I titled this Chicago Streetwalking, but I know they might not see that. And I got Brian Really Chicago in my name, but not everybody knows that about Chicago. They don't know the Chicago's in the United States. They might know New York City or Las Vegas or Hollywood. They know where Disneyland's at, but there's Disney World all over the world. There's Disneyland Tokyo, Disneyland Paris. There, the waterfall's on. Lincoln Park Zoo. Yeah, we got a waterfall here. There, the ducks hanging out in the waterfall. The birds are having a bath here. Yeah, the ducks are liking it. If I was a duck, I'd be in that water too. So here, hey, the lions. Let's check out the lions. The lions are sitting up here on the rock. Yeah. Good. UTSAV, Sharma, thanks for tuning in there. Bruce. Yeah, everybody's got something to say. What? Somebody bashed Chicago? I can't believe it. How could somebody do that? People think they're like the first one. People are like, did you know there was crime in Chicago? No, I've lived here for 26 years. I did not know there was crime in Chicago. Thanks for pointing out. I must be stupid. Look at the big brain on Brad. Hey, look at the lions. Yeah, here's the lions here, Lincoln Park Zoo. Look at that. Lying around. Look at that. Sarah would love this. Sarah loved the lions. I still donate to the nature sanctuary that she got me to do it. And so some of your gift money goes to support the wildlife sanctuary that she was a moderator for in Africa. And I saw it came out of my PayPal. So look at that. Here's the lions here in Lincoln Park Zoo. There's another lion over there. And what a nice, they got a huge habitat. They doubled the size, more than doubled the size of their habitat because the tigers, they got rid of the tigers and gave the lions this whole area belongs to the lions now. And here's the Landmark Cafe. There's the gift shop. Bird's Eye Cafe's over there. And here's there's a little train. There's a little train. They just drive it around. It just goes around in a circle, but kids like it there. You can ride the train here at Lincoln Park Zoo. And yeah, here's the seal pond. You can go underneath and look at them, but I usually lose my connection when we go down there, so we'll just try to view them from above here. I got to get to work here. I would really like to stick around. Unfortunately, I can't stay here. I got reruns of the zoo. We see the polar bears, the penguins, the meerkats, the giraffes. We got reruns of all that. Some of it I post to TikTok. The zoo doesn't. I've never had a video go viral on the zoo. Even the polar bear swimming. I thought that one had a chance, but people are just not interested in animals on TikTok. They'd rather watch car wrecks or OnlyFans dance videos, or, you know, sex sells. It does. Don't tell me sex doesn't sell. All the advertisers use it still to this day. If you think advertising sexist, you're probably right. Even for women, you know. And you pick up, when I was a kid, I was always shocked. You know, when I was a kid, my mother was a very conservative Christian woman. Like a Playtex bra commercial would come on the TV and she'd say, turn your head. And I'd have to cover my eyes and act like I wasn't peeping through. It was just for a bra commercial, you know. Like I'd look at the Sears catalog because I was you know, going through puberty like most. And where am I going with this? Well, my aunt, she was a beautician. She had a hair salon there in town, one town over. And I go there and I pick up Cosmopolitan. I pick up Vogue. And as a kid, that was almost like looking at Playboy. These are magazines, women's fashion magazines, marketing to women. And I saw some of the most scantily clad women in women's magazines marketing stuff to women. And I discovered this as a kid, you know, and they'd read the sex articles. And I was like, I didn't realize women were so obsessed with sex, because it'd be like the top 10 tips for having great sex with your husband. And it would be, you know, and I'd read it, and it was pretty graphic. And as a kid, you know, I'm not doing this. I'm saying that even women's magazines perpetuated these, you know, the hypersexualization of women to sell stuff. And you know, as a kid, I was confused by it. I was like, because my mother was, you know, she was almost like a Puritan, and she got it from her mother, and her mother got it from, they go back to the Pennsylvania Dutch, the almost like the Mennonites and the Amish, you know, the middle, the German, look, they're the German immigrants from the 1700s that went to Pennsylvania. Here's some of them ended up in Ohio. Here's the they're doing the spray paint. They're gonna do the plantings. They got these little flags out here. So these are the formal gardens in front of the Lincoln Park Conservatory. And there's where we're at. We went through the Lincoln Park Zoo. Yeah, the Harlequin romances. Yeah, they'd always have, it was all those romance novels, and all the women would be wearing dresses where they were falling out of their dresses, and there would be a shirtless Fabio there, you know, all the romance novels. And yeah, even comic books, the hypersexualization, both of male and female characters. You know, most superheroes are in their underwear, including Superman and Batman. Isn't that funny? Because they're athletic, you know, and it's a way for animators to show off their ability to draw the human form and all the muscles bulging out, and it's almost like homoerotic even, you know. And it was made fun of. Remember, the Saturday Night Live would have the Funhouse cartoons there, and they had a dynamic gay duo, and it was Batman and Robin, and it was tongue-in-cheek. Remember that? Here's the Belden Stratford. But I better stop here. I'm going to trip the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't understand what I'm talking about. It just hears keywords, and it's like, this guy's talking about bad stuff, and he was filming at the beach. I was filming women in bikinis at the beach, so this rerun might be censored. But hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll get you to the Billy Shakespeare statue. Thanks for tuning in here. We'll see what the rain does tonight. It's supposed to be storms tonight. That's the whole reason I walked home here at lunch, and we went to the beach at all today. I'm going to work from home this afternoon. So here's the Billy Shakespeare statue, Lincoln Park, Chicago, in front of the Belden Stratford here. Lincoln Park, Wellston, Belden. And I'll show you the inside here. We did it on TikTok. I'll do it on YouTube. I'll show you the inside of the Belden Stratford here. They just redid the interior lobby here. It's French Renaissance Revival. It's amazing. 1921. It's on the National Historic Register. There was 3 luxury apartment hotel residences here on Lincoln Park West, near the Lincoln Park Zoo, and they're still used as residences to this day, as they were originally intended. And this one, they just rehabbed it. And yeah, I'm just joking here. Yeah, Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman too. She's dancing around in her corset there. Little sports bra. Here's 2300 North Lincoln Park West. And I'll lower my voice. Here's Mona B. Gabi's restaurant here. And how you doing? Look at this beautiful lobby. They just restored this with the furniture here. The Mona B. Gabi restaurant's right here. And there's supposed to be another restaurant that opens here. And look at this amazing French Renaissance Revival interior. The Belden Stratford here. And here's the Mona B. Gabi. I'll just take a peek at here. You can come here for lunch and brunch. And look at, they got a beautiful bar here. You can sit out on the table here. The Mona B. Gabi. Look at that. Statue of Liberty, gifts from France. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me company here on my walk home. We had a nice walk here, 82 degrees by the beach. I'll be back on. Well, we'll see what the weather does. If you don't see me after 5, it means it's storming like crazy. And if I'm able to stream at 5, I'll stick around my house. And if it starts raining, I'll be able to make a mad dash and not be too far from my home. So thanks for understanding. We'll see you there. Yeah, it's just like any other city. Thanks, Anita. Thanks to my mods. Thanks, Chris. And yeah. Yeah, we have no power over, you know, people choose whether to be modest or not modest, you know, and I show the world as it is, not as we want it to be. Thanks for understanding. And you're always free to, you have the power to watch something else. So if I show something that's controversial or disturbs you, please feel free to change the channel and give me some slack that, you know, I can understand, and I won't fault anybody for changing the channel there. So hey, we'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Thanks to my mods. Thanks for the lunch bunch. We'll see ya hopefully after 5, weather permitting. Enjoy this day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Lorraine, JBC, Jan Baez, Michael, all the Michaels, Krista, Lorene, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, we'll stay safe. And thanks, Lorene, for tuning in. My Aunt Lorene and everybody else there. Manuel, Sharon, Pizza Lisa, Chris, thanks everybody. Jan Baez, Christy, Bomero Lopez, Dravel. We'll talk to you later. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. If I missed you, we'll see you later. Thanks a lot.